Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our channel. Of course, today in today's news, we're going to be speaking about Cardano yet again, and it's still not looking too great for them. They continue to crash and burn as they continue to fall below support. All right, let's get into it and let's speak about this absolute catastrophe. So, Cardano is falling below key support yet again, and as we look as the daily, of course, when you're looking at this, it looks pretty good. Honestly, it looks pretty enthusiastic if you are an optimistic person living in the crypto metaverse. However, looking here, we can once you're looking at Cardano, you can see it's starting to actually fall off the cliff. Right around in September again, it started that big fall. All of that red, and it continues to move sideways, but at a downward angle. So much as the plane's crashing, it doesn't just drop out of the sky, but it does glide down, and that's what we're seeing now. When we're looking at the weekly, it is even more ugly, right? So we do see some positive things here. So it did finally get right at $2, right? $2.08 to be exact. It is kind of like making some kind of comeback, but it still has fallen below that support. And that's where we don't want to be. Because that longer time, and when you're looking at it on the daily too, when you can see when we're in that upper half, that's okay. It's like because we didn't pay too much attention to this. But as we're kind of hanging out and we fall below that line, that's what is really making it very ugly for us. And that's where we don't want to be. $1.89 actually is for Cardano. $1.89. What about that? That is like very ugly. Not cool at all. But that is what we have. So it does continue to fall below that key line of support, and it continues to, well, make us a little bit nervous, right? Going back to the weekly as well, when we have the week, you see this like little line here, like the end of October, like beginning here. It looks good, and that's like, oh my God, maybe it can actually recover. But from the patterns that we see, I don't think it's going to recover just yet. And you're going to see that more and more because even in the pattern that we had back in June and July, it had that same pattern and it did bounce back up. But there we were a little bit more optimistic as we did have some decent looking green candles coming. Now we don't have that. We only have this one, but I would expect for it to still kind of fall off the cliff as we're waiting for that. So speaking about Matic. Matic is looking very good. I'm very optimistic about it. Of course, the altcoins are doing really good. They're looking very bullish at this point. We spoke about this too before. It continues to rise. It's rallying up as well, and that's where we want. The last really big time we had in a low was back in September, and then the one before that was in July. So it still continues to grow. It looks very good. And all altcoins at this point are really doing fantastic. And we're going to go into that in just a moment as well. Before we go into that or go any further, do subscribe, drop a comment below, hammer on the like. Let's see. Looking at the month or the weekly formatic, and that's where we want to see too. Look at that. Completely beautiful, right? Beautiful. Fantastic. And this is why I'm so optimistic about the altcoins at this point. Gaming coins altogether are doing really good. But we still have, like, of course, a lot of highs that are coming up to an all-time highs, like Ethereum, completely beautiful. Absolutely love looking at Ethereum. Ethereum is at a high too, at 4,600, all-time high, completely smashing it right now. There is no way you can be frowning upon this. When we do have a little bit of a red candle here, it completely just annihilates. It comes back up, recovers, and is doing even better than before. And so very good news as well. Polkadot is also doing fantastic. Polkadot is also killing it very well. I would expect this to really fully jump up as well. So keep an eye on Polkadot, guys. You can see into the patterns as well. We had some like kind of shaky behavior back here in September. It looked pretty bad for Polkadot, but of course, with everything breaking out now in the news, it is coming up and it is being strong. So very bullish at this point. You can see we had that little red candle. I mean, you can barely even see it, so it's still pretty great. For the weekly for Polkadot, you can see even the same, fantastic, just completely beautiful. When we're talking about that back in May, it kind of fell off the cliff too. but it's making a strong comeback as of now, as we can see. All right. In news, so Bitcoin today, right? So let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing pretty good too. It still kind of have that sideways behavior as well, a little bit. So it's still strong, but it looks like it's not breaking over that all-time high that we had back in October. So we're still, but it is kind of moving down. It is recovering from where it was, which looks pretty good in my eyes. So keep an eye on that too. We definitely don't want it to fall. So looking at the weekly, it is also coming back up too, but still not quite at that high that we had before. So we want to see if it continues this way. It looks fantastic. It can bring the other coins up. If it starts to fall, only altcoins, everybody's going to jump ship from that, and they're going to really buy into the altcoins. But as we can see, it looks pretty good. Still, I'm still shaky on it to call it too much, but if it continues to do pretty well, as long as we're not kind of hanging out here in the sideways motion and not playing stop and go, then it can be pretty good. Of course, everybody wants to see Bitcoin jump to 100,000 and more, but it is kind of worrisome, as we can see, is it kind of falling down here back in September as well. All right, let's see. All right, one moment, and let's go to the news. Now, when we're looking at the market, it is completely pumping. The entire market is pumping right now. So Bitcoin today, the last 24 hours is at 0.26%. The weekly at 7.25% in the green. Ethereum still killing it again, 14.30% for the weekly and 362 for the daily. Of course, now Cardano, as we're speaking about, it's looking better, but this is where we're still not expecting it to be too great. So at the weekly, we have 7.78% and 6.31% for Cardano. Now, XRP, that's another coin to be watching for. XRP is also killing it at 19.58% for the 7-day weekly, even better, and 8.94. Polkadot, as we were just discussing, at 23.66% for the weekly and 4.20 for the day. That is beautiful. That is fantastic. Even Shiba continues to beat it up, pump up. For the weekly, we have still plus 24%, and the daily is in the red for 7.57, but still very well. So we do want to check for that. Even Polygon. Looking at Polygon is another big one. So Matic at 25% and 10.77. Guys, I'm telling you, it's very good coins. You can see Polygon and these other coins, Polkadot, even all of these game coins are doing fantastic right now. So a wonderful buying opportunity. So catch that as you can. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for today. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment below, and hammer on the like button. I will see you next time, and thank you for joining me.